Turn the other cheek. Turn the other cheek. Hear that a lot. Turn the other cheek. Come on through, y'all. Let's talk on this beautiful Saturday. Current time 5:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm in North Carolina. I am doing something that I haven't done in a while. I am sitting sunning. I'm getting sun in, y'all. But the sun is going down. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. Welcome to Lovely J Podcast. I'm Miss Coco Bowden. Yeah. But the sun is going down, guys. And it's starting to get cold now. But probably like an hour ago, it felt so good. And all I did was just open up the door, let some fresh air come in. I should have been praying, though, because I could smell like when somebody been in my house that don't belong in here. And I've been smelling this scent of a Caucasian male. I've been smelling it. And they older, too, because, you know, older Caucasian males, I don't care how much they take a bath, they have a certain scent. I don't care if they live with black people, Japanese people, it don't matter. They have a certain stench, just like black people have a certain smell. Our natural sense. But yeah, I can smell that in here. And so I'm just was sitting, let my house air out some. And I decided to let the sun hit my legs, my little old fat legs. And it felt good. But now that it's going down, I guess this door going to be shutting soon. But before then, I decided to come on and speak to y'all, see what's up with y'all. I ain't doing much of nothing. Yesterday, had a good day. Went to go visit my biological mom and ate out at Ronnie's BBQ. I'm finally eating barbecue. Let me tell you. Now, it's just possible. Now, see, I don't know why I start yawning. Every time I come on this podcast, that happens. Devil, you are a liar. I'm going to get this out. Now, it's just possible that you could be went through so much trauma in your life that you become allergic to certain things, certain people, certain foods, give you a scare. And I believe that is what happened to me. At some point, I got so traumatized by foods and people that I just started, I just grew this thing on the inside that, I don't know. I don't know how to really call it, but after my ex passed away, I started noticing something. I started noticing that I wanted certain foods again. I wanted to hear certain songs again. And I was like, why is all this coming to me now? I mean, I know I was going to have a whole ton of memories because we had so much history together. But now, why all of a sudden do I want to eat these certain foods and things? And, I thought it was just because he passed away. And maybe that was my mind's way of dealing with grief. Now, weeks have passed. He passed away August 5th, and this is October 18th, so it's like 2 months later. Now I'm having a certain taste for certain foods. Now, mind you, these foods I used to eat all the time before me and him got together. Before me and him was ever in a relationship, I love fish sandwiches. I love fried shrimp. I love scallops. I love barbecue sandwiches. All of that. But then when we got together, I still ate I ate all of those foods when we first got together. But when the trauma started getting worse, when the fights started getting worse, the fussing started getting worse, I stopped eating certain foods. It was like my mind just triggered off those foods because some kind of way it wasn't safe or it was a way of safety for me. Oh, excuse me. Bless me, Lord, and bless others too. It was a way of safety for me because my mind picked up on the patterns even when I didn't. Now, I'm picking up on the pattern now. This is like 10, 11, 12 years later that I'm just now picking up on the pattern of why did my mind shut down when it came down to all those foods. Why was those foods making me sick? When he met me, I was having cookouts. I was having parties every weekend. I was cooking every weekend. And then at that, we've been together for about 5 or 6 years. I went from doing all that stuff to now it got where all these allergic reactions started happening. And yeah, certain foods I was eating, like the fish, the smoked barbecue, anything off the grill, I started getting sick. Isn't that crazy? I've been eating these foods all my life, and then all of a sudden I started getting sick and having reactions to these foods. And so I didn't eat these foods no more. Once I was told I was allergic, I stopped eating these foods. And the doctor thought it was weird. Like, how are you allergic to charcoal? I was never allergic to charcoal. But then it got where every time I was having a cookout after me and him got together, it would be like I can't breathe. I would end up with bronchitis, and I would just stay sick. Now, why is that important now? Well, because yesterday when I went down to this restaurant called the Chuck Wagon, but it was Chuck Wagon back in the day when I used to go before, but now it's called Ronnie's Chuck Wagon. Well, I ordered a barbecue sandwich. I haven't had a barbecue sandwich in probably 15, 16 years. I haven't had a barbecue sandwich in that long. I mean, a real barbecue sandwich. I mean, really smoked barbecue. I stopped eating it because I was always getting allergic every time I was eating, these barbecue sandwiches and things at home. But then the common denominator just now hit me that put it like this. I ordered the barbecue sandwich a couple weeks prior. My son had brought it to me. I ate the sandwich slow, and I realized that the barbecue sandwich didn't do anything to me. Did y'all hear what I said? It didn't do anything to me. No swelling, no coughing, no nothing. It didn't do nothing to me. So, fast forward on back down to yesterday. I ordered the barbecue sandwich again. The sandwich did nothing to me but fill my tummy up. That sandwich was so good. I am just in my mind, just putting two and two together that maybe my mind shut down as a way to protect me back in those days. And maybe those allergic reactions came because maybe something was going on with the food that I wasn't aware of. Because keep in mind, when somebody dislike you, and especially if they live with you and dislike you, they're going to do everything they can do to make your life miserable, to keep you sick. I mean, that's even being around the invisibles, these invisible narcissists who keep, doing things. They are pranksters. They are deadly pranksters. They prank things, but they mean harm. It's not meant for you to laugh. It's meant to harm you, everything they do. And it just reminded me yesterday that now I'm starting to return back to eating some of the things that I had stopped eating. And I'm not having any side effects or anything from it. And I'm just like, sometimes you can't get your healing until you're completely away from the person, until God says it is finished. And I just feel kind of like that's a part of me that's healing now that he gone. And I'm not saying that with any disrespect to anything, because God knows I did love Rollo. But I had to stay true to myself too. He was a mean somebody too. And he was sneaky. And it wouldn't be the first time, because it's one thing when you're with somebody that don't like you, but then when you with somebody and they think you drunk, or they think they whispering, they don't realize how drunk they are, and they're not whispering, they're actually telling what they did to you. That's another thing. When I had that anaphylactic shock with that fish sandwich, that was fish he had left in there for me to go and reheat. And when I did, and I took 2 bites, it almost took my life. I didn't touch no more fish after that. I stopped eating all fish. But since then, I had to keep an EpiPen with me because of the reactions. Because I've had reactions more than one time. But since then, I have tried like the McDonald's Filet-O-Fish, imitation fish, and things like that. Not eating whole piece, just taste a little piece of it and give the rest of it away. I'm not taking no chances either, because I don't know. But I'm just saying, some foods and some music that I used to love that I started to hate. I loved it before I got in a relationship with him, but then once I got in a relationship with him, he burned it out so bad I started hating it. I started hating flowers. I stopped liking a lot of things that I loved. I stopped liking to clean up. Everything I did that I loved to do, he made me dislike it. But now that love is coming back for the things that I, poured my heart into, and the things that gave me life. Now my love is coming back. But now that he's gone, somebody else got to take his place. I'm not talking about in relationship. I'm talking about now that those evils, those spirits have to go into other people now. They got to find somebody else to host their body. And I'm just, it just reminded me yesterday that, sometimes the reason why we don't like things, or things don't agree with our body, is not always because of the food itself. Sometimes it's just the person and the relationship and the story that's behind that particular food or that particular route. There's a story behind it. And our brains and subconscious mind remembers everything that happened, even when we don't. We don't remember everything. That's why you see people with dementia. You see how they can sound like they still in the present moment, but they be talking about something from the 1920s or 1940s or something that happened in the 70s, and they'll talk to you just like it just now happened. That's because the subconscious mind is on replay. And it's replaying those events that have happened, that stood out the most to that person, that was significant to them. Or it sometimes plays the moment when they are getting healed from certain traumas that they needed to speak up to. You'll hear them, you'll be like, oh, well, that person never raised their voice like that before. But now that they got dementia, they loud. They raising their voice, they want to fight before they had self-control. But now, once the brain starts shrinking and things, there's no self-control of what they say or do. But that subconscious mind is still playing those stories and those events that happen. And that's how I feel like sometimes it is with me, that I'm here in the present moment. I'm very present right now. Like, if I've been present ever since 2020. When I did what I had to do to get my healing for my emotional self and to get my freedom papers, which means my individuality, to be my own self and not what the family thinks of me. Ever since I broke away, I've had a free mind. Free mind. Don't care who like me, who dislike me. And at the same time, I'm not like I'm just gonna love who love me. No, I still love everybody. That's a part of me that people can't change. I still love everybody. I just know that I can't trust you. I just know I would never eat anything from you. And if you give me something, most likely I'm going to toss it in the trash because I don't want those type of spirits on me. That's not a form of paranoid delusion either. If you acting a monkey in a fool, what make you think, or if you accepted somebody to treat you bad and I didn't work hard to build myself up so I don't allow that kind of treatment to happen to me, or I can finally speak up. You might, that's an old saying, you might whip me, but I'm still going to speak up for myself. And that's what made me a winner, because I still would speak up despite how many people come against me. Don't give me something and think I want that kind of low down spirit in my life. No. That's why in July, when God told me to start cleaning my house out of things that were given to me, I didn't understand the significance of it until my ex passed. And when my ex passed, I realized then why God had me to clean out the things, because even though it's properties, it's things, just things that don't look harmless. And some of the things I had thrown away was not damaged, still usable. But it's the spirits that come attached with it. It's the reason why somebody gave you something. You ever notice? Okay. Now, I'm not going to say it's disgusting to share wigs, but, because Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I have collected wigs for women, send them off to the center. They take and they wash them up, and they give them out to patients who can't afford wigs. Okay. Well, sometimes you can put on somebody else's wig and start acting like them. And I know people who do that. Somebody give them something, and next thing you know, they change up personalities. They'll go through, if you put them around 20, 30 people, they'll go through 20, 30 personalities. And you be like, dang, they steady switching up. They switching up. Well, those are spirits. You got to be careful of the things you accept in your house. Your temple, which is your body, and your physical house. Because people don't love you like that. They don't care about you like that. You'll be down and out sick and bedridden, and they'll still be out doing the same thing. They'll just go find somebody else to play them games on. So once I started eating that barbecue sandwich yesterday, and I got to sitting here, it reminded me of just how good God is. God giveth and God taketh. And the moral of what I'm saying is, when you get around healthy people, healthy-minded people, and your mind starts to heal, there are things that you once loved that you had to leave behind because of what somebody did to you, or because of the story that's associated with it. And the most thing I could think about that is associated with pork, any kind of pork, because I stopped eating pigtails, I stopped eating pig feet, and I love these foods, y'all. Mind you, I love these foods. I grew up on them. I stopped eating bacon for a long time. I'm just not getting back to where I'm going back eating bacon, and it's like I'm trying to make up for lost time, but I need to stop that. But I'm just not getting where the pork thing, I'm back eating the pork. Before, when I was around him, I couldn't buy pork like that in here. If I buy a bunch of pork, he cook it all up in one day, and it just got where, it was too much. It was too much. Every day I walk in here and there's nothing but pork cooking. Every day. And my blood pressure was rising because he was adding salt on salt to it. Blood pressure stayed high. So I stopped buying pork and I stopped eating pork because now I was traumatized by pork. He was weaponizing pork. He was weaponizing anything that I loved. He was using against me. Pork, flowers, washing powders, this, that. He took everything and used it against me. I was literally so fearful in the mind that I think even if he wouldn't have said, well, you just sit there and let me do everything, I still would have sat there because I would have been froze. I was that angry. I just froze out, just blanked out, just got stuck. Couldn't speak up for myself. I don't care what nobody says. People were saying I was so strong to stay with him. And, you know, they was really, I don't think they meant it though. I was weak. And that's the only reason why I did stay with him. If I really would have been strong, I would have been left like after that first year. Cause he started changing up around that second year. That second year, it was like he was getting different. I was like, okay. But he introduced me to his real self, little bit at a time, until I was just taking it. Just taking all that verbal abuse, just taking it. And that's part of the reason why I stopped eating barbecue and things. And whenever they would ask me, I just say, well, you know, I can't have it. I can't be around it, can't stand the smell, none of that. Not knowing that that was part of trauma. But I know now that's what it was. Because yesterday I got around that barbecue sandwich and I held that baby up and I just loved on that sandwich, that sweet slaw, that taste of that good vinegar. I just loved on that barbecue meat. And it was really good. So yeah, sometimes trauma will make you sick. And you can't come back from it until your brain feels safe. And I think once I seen them close the casket on him, that was a level of safety released for me mentally. He wasn't physically abusive. He was verbal and psychological. And it put to rest, even though I was in shock that he passed away, it put to rest a lot of those fears that I didn't even know I had. I did have some fears. I had so many fears with him. And I didn't realize it till after he passed. I mean, yeah, I was a good fighter. I was a good fighter for that. But why am I fighting? Why am I always defensive? Because I'm scared of something. There's a fear. And that's what people don't understand is young girls like me who end up with them older men. You know, them older men, they got years over us, so they know the tricks and trades. While we're babes out here, we don't know what we finna get into. I didn't know what I was getting into twice. I thought I would do better this time. I was like, yes, now I got a man who really cared for me. You know, I thought I would do better. But I can't say I did better. Some things were good, some things were bad, and some things were hella bad. And trauma can affect every aspect of your life. Now, let's go back a little bit. Another thing in the food thing is you got to think, too, with all that food stuff and traumatizing by the food, weaponizing food. Remember how my mom did me. She didn't feed me a lot of times, so food was weaponized against me as a child. And I do have an eating disorder right now. So you think about childhood food trauma, then adulthood food trauma. Lord, this life has been interesting. But I thank God that I survived it, I made it, and I'm just here to tell little stories while I sit in front of the sun as it goes down. It's 6 o'clock. Yeah, so narcissists will weaponize anything. If you love it, they're going to weaponize it. Yep. That's just like I had a family member to call and ask me, how do you do social media? I really don't. I be wanting to see people succeed. And again, I do try to spirit by the spirit. So I did tell her some things that she can do if she want to get her channel built up. But I also noticed how she tried to mimic and mirror my looks and my style. Now, once I see you doing that, I know you're not authentic. And do I really want to deal with you anymore? No. I really have a no tolerance. I'm quick to forgive, but I also have no tolerance for people who try to psychologically manipulate and abuse me. I have no tolerance for that. That's how I can walk away from family members so fast. That's how I can probably walk away from the next relationship if I get one. If I start like feeling like I'm getting into a relationship and a guy start tripping, it will be easy for me to walk away from him now. Because I know what it feels like to hold on to people who don't love you, and your family show you that firsthand. You don't learn that outside of the household. You learn that in the house. I learned in the house at a young age when my arm got broke, when I was getting beat up all the time. I learned when I was getting assaulted, SA'd. I learned in that household that I was not liked, that I was disliked. I grew up knowing that all along. And so everything that I tried to do, everything I did was intentionally done. It was purposely and strategically planned. So, because I had fear in me of certain family members. Yep. I had fear in me. And that's why I tried to do everything they said do, so I wouldn't get beat up, or so certain things wouldn't get messed up on mine. You know, I was a people pleaser. I was people pleasing so they wouldn't bother me. That's how I was calling myself keeping my peace back in the day. And I grew up doing the same thing. People pleasing men, people pleasing, buying friends. You can't buy love. Love is not for sale. Love is unconditional. And when it starts coming with a condition, them bastards don't care nothing about you. If they put a condition on you to be in your life, that's not love. And I feel sorry for the man who teaches his daughter that is love. Because not every man she get with, she only gonna be with him. She gonna stick in a bad relationship because she's being used to being conditioned. And whatever condition that man tell her she got to stay in to be with them, she going to choose that bad condition because you ain't teach her no better. You don't have to stay in no conditioned love. You can't buy it. There's no amount of sex you can have to keep a relationship that's not meant to be. And if you stay in it, that don't mean it's a relationship. It just means you're a dummy. It just means that you value another person's life more than you value your own. And you shouldn't be like that, because God give us all 24 hours. He give us all strengths. We all got battles. But when you become afraid to be alone, and at that time I was afraid to be alone because I had never been alone by myself. So when I got in that relationship, I stayed in it because I was like, I don't know what I'll do without him. You know, you taught that. You are taught that to worry. And it starts in the home. You taught to worry. Oh, I don't know what I'll do without him. If he's not here, who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? Did you ever think, what if he died? What if she died? Then who going to do it? They still going to have to figure out how to live without you. So if you're in a bad relationship, why you going to sit there and let them take your life? They still will have to figure out how to go on without you if God intervenes and says, well, I'm taking you. So you see, don't put yourself out there in a position where you only stand with people according to their conditions. That was so hard on me. I'm still recovering. I've been single over 10 years. I'm still recovering. I don't know when it's going to end. And some of the things I don't even know what I need recovering from, because it don't show up until my subconscious mind feels like it's safe enough to release it. And those are those memories that I lost that creep back. And I do remember I used to eat a lot of barbecue. I used to have him go get me barbecue sandwiches and all kinds of things. I do remember that. But you see, I also remember how bad we used to fuss before he would go in the restaurant and order for us and things. How we would fuss on the way to the restaurant. I remember it was a lot of mayhem. It was a lot. We couldn't even leave the house without fussing first. Or if we did leave without fussing, the closer we got to our destination, then the fussing would start. And not no fighting, but the fussing would start. And the fussing was so horrible. But I'm not saying all that. You know, before he passed, we forgave each other. But I'm just telling you how trauma can sneak up, and food and things you love can be weaponized. That's all I'm just relating things to, because I find it shocking. And I found it shocking that a lot of the songs, I had forgot about a lot of those songs. R&B songs, rap songs. I had forgot about all those songs. And it seemed like my mind only knew gospel songs the last 10 years. Just gospel songs. And then all of a sudden, now I'm remembering all the R&B songs and the neo soul songs and the people like Johnny Taylor, Tyrone Davis. The songs I would listen to before, he started living here. Before we started getting together, I loved all kind of music. And he even weaponized music. He weaponized the music. He would take the radio and sit it beside him. Or he'd wait till we're all asleep. And then he'd get up about 5 o'clock in the morning and turn the radio wide open. Put on R. Kelly. If it wasn't R. Kelly, it was back then we had tapes. He would put the tape on Wifey. And I just never understood, why would you do that, knowing that kids got to go to school the next day? Like I said, it was a lot. And I see it now. I understand it now. I don't want to ever be in another relationship like that, where everything is just weaponized. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've said all that to say that it felt good eating that barbecue sandwich. I know I took you around the mountain of how I got away from eating barbecue and all that barbecue stuff. I still have not tried like grilled food, grill. But one day I am going to try it. Maybe like eat a little piece. I'm going to try it. If I don't do nothing but introduce myself back to it a little bit at a time. Because I'm going to have my EpiPen with me no matter what. But I'm going to start introducing myself back to foods like that a little bit at a time. The foods that were making me sick when we were together. Because it is a such thing that some people can, I don't know. What if something was being put in the food? What if that's the reason why I was having the reactions? I don't know. Now, about the grill thing, I would say on the grill thing, well, still, I don't know, because he was grilling that night when I had that reaction. I don't know. Yeah, he was grilling that night, because I remember we got the fussing, and we were fussing, and he went down the road. But I got so sick after I ate them grilled hot dogs, and I like mine black. Oh, that grilled black and that hot dog, and he gave me about 2 or 3 of them. Next thing I know, I was sick. I couldn't breathe. And I was having asthma attacks, and back then I didn't have I didn't have the inhalers or any of that kind of thing. But it feels good to be back out trying things that I once loved, and now I can at least get a little taste of it. But I ate that whole sandwich and it didn't bother me, so I will be trying other barbecue places to see where I can get the best barbecue at. But I'm not going to say I'm going to be eating a lot of barbecue. Maybe like once a month. Once a month is enough for me. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm going to get off of here. I am done talking. Just wanted y'all to know that I had that good old barbecue and that I was sitting here in the sun enjoying myself. But I'm going to have to close the door up now. The little cold draft, the little fall draft is coming through. Not quite dark yet, but I feel the little nippiness, which that feels good too. I got to work on getting me a TV, y'all. I'm missing TV in here. I got to work on getting me one. Because even if I do not watch the football game, sometimes I just like to have the TV in the background. The background noise. It just makes things better. And then, having a TV just make it look like a home. I don't have a TV, so now it just look like it's just I don't know, but it don't look like a... But, yeah, I'm going to get one eventually. It's going to take time. But I know if I could get all this other stuff up and get it straight, then the TV coming. And I'm not worried about missing any football games. I just be worried about the score. I mean, I do miss looking at the games, but I'm okay. I'm not finna go broke trying to get no TV. And I know some of y'all rich, right? But I'm not rich, so... everything I get, I have to earn, and it takes me a little bit of time to do it. But once I do it, it'll be all worth it. So I'm pretty patient. I've learned to be patient and just know that when it comes, it's going to come. And just stay ready to keep from getting ready. Other than that, I need to go eat something. I sat here and drank a whole 32-ounce cup of water. That's good. But I need to put some food on my stomach. And just find me something to do. I might work a little bit on videos. Or, I don't know. I be wanting to watch Lifetime movies, but I don't be having the patience like that to plug up the projector and things. Oh, no. I might plug it up. Cook me some popcorn. And get some of that Halloween candy that I got from the TikTok shop. Y'all go check me out, Jamie the Advocate, on the TikTok shop, Jamie the Advocate. I got some Halloween gift boxes on there. It's got some good quality candy. That candy is good. Go check it out. Thanks for listening, y'all. Have a great one.